WEFM.com. WEFM News online, on demand.
Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited.
Family fun days are here. Now is the time for movie marathons, tasty treats, and outdoor fun. At Courts, we have the TVs, appliances, grills, pools, and more to make your home the place to be. Get it all today with no cash when you shop with Courts Ready Finance. Family fun days are on now. Get what you need at Courts, bringing value home. Offer ends July 23rd. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, When the Water Dried Up is the latest publication by cultural activist, novelist, and playwright Cecil Blazer Williams. The novel depicts the struggles and resilience of Vincentian people in the face of the eruptions of La Soufrière. Speaking at the launch was Minister of Culture Carlos James, who commended the work, saying that it represented true Vincentian cultural life through a contemporary focus.
It's a historic piece, and what is also reflective, he's the first Vincentian author to chronicle the life and experience in the times of a modern Vincentian during the eruption of the La Soufrière. So when you read this piece, you will get glimpses of community life during the eruption and how our people survived and how our people rallied together in a time when all they needed was hope, and we all provided that support to each other. And it's all chronicled in this latest publication by our distinguished and renowned writer and playwright, Cecil Blazer Williams.
That was the Minister of Culture, Carlos James. President of the Vincentian Association of Artists, Writers, and Producers, Rena Batiste, and Speaker of the House of Assembly, Rochelle Ford, also gave congratulatory remarks at the launch ceremony. This is Cecil Blazer Williams' fourth novel. He has written numerous other publications, including books of poetry and plays. While speaking on the issue of production and productivity earlier today on WEFM's Activated Morning program, Minister of Agriculture Subota Caesar said that it is time for Vincentians to redouble their efforts. Minister Caesar said that this is especially important right now, given the current global financial problems being faced. We hear more from the Agriculture Minister.
Every single Vincentian, we have to redouble our efforts. The man who is a fisherman can't reach late and turn up late for the work because we have to get more fish in the country to ensure that we have food security. The man with the taxi driver, he can't stop by the gas station and go inside and be laughing people while he gets out there in the vehicle, and then they have to come out and call him and say, when we're ready to go, we can late for the airport. People who are working at the airport, we have to redouble our efforts because at the end of the day, we are selling a service and we are providing a service not only for Vincentians, but for persons throughout the world. And as Minister of Agriculture and as Minister of Fisheries, I see this moment as a call to duty, a call to purpose, to rise to the occasion to ensure that we can produce more food for local consumption, more food for export.
That was the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry and Labour, Subota Caesar. Minister Caesar said that he is confident that Vincentians have the resilience to pull through these challenges, highlighting the resilience shown by the nation following the last two volcanic eruptions of La Soufrière. Still on the local scene, over 4,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines arrived in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Friday, July 8, 2022, through the government of the United States of America. They were handed over to the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment in a short ceremony at the Argyle International Airport. Speaking at the event, the United States Ambassador to Barbados and the OCS, Linda Tagliatella, said the U.S. has long-standing ties with SVG and the effort to assist in combating COVID-19 is indicative of this relationship.
I think if you look over the last 6 years that I have been here, we've been able to do a number of things in partnership with St. Vincent and the Grenadines that both advance their safety and security and their health, as well as that of the American people. As the Foreign Minister said, the United States has donated over 100,000 doses of COVID vaccines, adult vaccines, in the last 2 years. Today, I'm very happy to announce that we're going to donate almost 5,000 doses of the pediatric vaccine, which is good for children from 5 to 11. Hopefully, this will be a good start, and we will continue to supply vaccines as they're made available so that we can continue to vaccinate people.
That was the United States Ambassador to Barbados and the OCS, Linda Tagliatella. The vaccines, meant for 5 to 11-year-olds, are in keeping with the government's overall thrust to reduce the incidences of COVID-19 among children. On to news in the region. Indigenous Guyanese will not be left out of the country's development as it reaps the benefits of oil and gas. This promise was given by Guyana's President, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, as he addressed Indigenous leaders at the opening ceremony of the National Tushaus Conference. The Tushaus are meeting in Georgetown this week under the theme Good Governance and Fast-Tracking Amerindian Development. Ali said his government will continue to work with the indigenous community to ensure they are not left behind in Guyana's accelerated development. The president highlighted that over 50 billion Guyanese dollars has been invested directly and indirectly in the Amerindian community over the last 2 years, and he noted this money is just the start of things to come. Ali promised that the Constitutional Reform Committee would be meeting with indigenous communities to get their views on how Guyana should develop. Recent reductions in fertility have led to a demographic dividend in Latin America and the Caribbean, as the latest United Nations projections suggest that the world's population could grow to around 8.5 billion in 2030 and 9.7 billion in 2050, before reaching a peak of around 10.4 billion people during the 2080s. It said the population is expected to remain at that level until 2100. The annual study, released on Monday to coincide with World Population Day, also notes that the global population is growing at its slowest rate since 1950, having fallen to less than 1% in 2020. Fertility, the report declares, has fallen markedly in recent decades for many countries. Today, 2/3 of the global population lives in a country or area where lifetime fertility is below 2.1 births per woman, roughly the level required for zero growth in the long run, for a population with low mortality. In 61 countries or areas, the population is expected to decrease by at least 1% over the next 3 decades, as a result of sustained low levels of fertility and, in some cases, elevated rates of immigration. The UN notes that in most countries of sub-Saharan Africa, as well as in parts of Asia and Latin America and the Caribbean, recent reductions in fertility have led to a demographic dividend, with a rise in the share of the working age population 25 to 64 years old, proving an opportunity for accelerated economic growth per capita. On the international scene, Iran plans to supply Russia with potentially hundreds of drones for its war in Ukraine, some with combat capabilities, a U.S. official has said. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that information received by the U.S. suggested Iran was preparing to train Russian forces to use the drones. He added that it was unclear whether Iran had delivered them yet. Drones have played an integral part in the war for both Ukraine and Russia. Just last week, Ukraine appealed for donations of thousands of drones to aid its war efforts. Both sides are using them to spot the enemy's positions and then help direct and correct their own artillery fire on a target. The Kremlin has said Russian President Vladimir Putin will travel to Iran's capital, Tehran, on July 19th. He is expected to meet Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi and Turkey's Recep Tayyip Erdogan for peace talks on Syria. And finally, in sports, St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be represented by a 5-member team to the 2022 World Athletics Under-20 Championships to be held in Cali, Colombia from August 1st to 6th. The team is made up of Carifta Games silver and bronze medalist Uroy Ryan in the long jump and Amal Glasgow in the 400 meter. 2021 NACAC Under-18 100 meter bronze medalist Kyle Lawrence will run in the 100 meter, and Devon Rick Mack, who copped double gold in the 100 and 200 meter races at the 2022 Whitsuntide Games, will take part in the 200 meter event. The lone female to make the trip will be USA-based triple jumper Leanne Nicholas, who will be donning the national colors for the first time. This has been WEFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 3 p.m. for WEFM's 3 p.m. News. WEFM's Midday News is brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts St. Vincent Limited.
Sensational savings are here this summer at Courts Optical. Get a free pair of designer sunglasses with your glasses purchase. Now that's sensational. Free sunglasses and your glasses, and you can get it all with no cash. Choose from our flexible credit terms from 3 to 24 months to repay. At Courts Optical, the savings are sensational. You don't want to miss these deals. Conditions apply. See in store for details. Courts Optical. Value you can see.